Welcome to Destiny Digits. This is the Soul Urge reading for Soul Urge number 1. So, this number, your soul urge, talks about things that motivate you. What is your soul being pushed to do, right? So, this number for you talks about independence. It talks about being a leader, being bold, being fearless, creative, and original. And so, when we're thinking about the things that drive you, push you, motivate you, the things that keep you going, this is the energy that is flowing within you, right? So think about that for a minute. Is that consistent? Are you kind of like a pioneer, very ambitious, determined, athletic? But this is just about being bold, right? And in order to do things and to go alone and to be unafraid, you have to be knowledgeable. You have to have had mastered something. And so that's kind of what you can use to thrive and to push you. First card out is Show the World the Real You. That's full moon in Aquarius. Next card out, Believe in the Impossible, blue moon. Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, ones. We talked about you being bold and independent, really taking risks, but you're taking a risk on self because it's just you. It's about, do you believe in your ability to achieve, to have, to grow, to expand? When you think about yourself in your grandest form, what does that look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? Really tap into every sense. Where are you? What are you doing? What are you wearing? What are you saying? What are you speaking about? What are you eating? Who's in your company? If it's not people, do you have pets? What kind of pets? It's about really believing it and seeing it in the mind. And it feels so daggone real that it begins to be something that you live and just naturally create. I felt like I just kind of got lost in that, but maybe that was necessary. So show the world the real you, believe in the impossible. Then we have emotions are running high, supermoon. Emotions are running high, supermoon. And at the bottom of this deck, it says, have faith in your dreams. Have faith in your dreams. So where do you want to go? What do you want to do? We're going to keep pulling cards. We're pulling our next deck now, and then we'll end in our 9-card tarot spread. But what is it that you are about to do? Are you anxious? We have emotions are running high. Are you nervous about something? Are you doubting something? Are you fearful in any way? When we're talking about emotions running high on the supermoon card, what is your current space like? What are you feeling? And when Spirit says to believe in the impossible, what is it that you think is not possible? What is it that you don't believe you have the ability? Oh my goodness, denial. Denial came out. We talked about something not being possible. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to keep. All right, now we had 2 cards come out, so we're going to take both of them. All right, so we have imagination. And isn't that what we have to do? It first has to arrive in our mind before it can arrive in our tangible space, our 3D world. The extra card to come out was blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. And at the bottom, we have pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. I love myself and I see myself into everyone. All right, so we're going to dig into this, but let's just tap into blame for a second. It says, I accept responsibility for my well-being. And so, ones, because you do kind of blaze your own trails, you have to always be accountable. And sometimes that's not fun, right? Sometimes we want to take time off. But unfortunately, your gift is not taking time off. Your gift as being this independent force, you are accountable for you because in the end, you rely on self more than anyone else, right? And so when we are operating in our lower vibrations of that one, instead of being independent, we might be codependent. We might be impulsive or controlling or, egotistical. And so all I'm saying is, in the event that you slip into the space of blame, that is like counter who you naturally are, because accountability is what you do in order to be this independent force, right? And so you live in the space of accepting responsibility for your well-being. That's what you do, and that's what you should always remember, that you have this power and this potential to get through any obstacle, right? You're never stuck. And where we are, where we were, is not an indication of where we will end up. And so if you are in a space that you are not happy with or content with in life right now, you have all the tools necessary, right? The fact that you are here in this space means that you are prepared to be here, even if it feels unknown and uncomfortable, right? Even if you feel lost. If you're there, you're meant to be there. You just have to figure out why. And so you're a culmination of all the experiences you had before this one. And so you possess all the tools because it led you here. So if we're not comfortable, if we don't like where we are when we're thinking about our well-being, our own satisfaction, how we're taking care of self, are we leading ourselves in the right direction with the correct people, places, and things for us, right? And so this is like a takeover. This is when you are taking back control of your story, your venture, your next step. I feel like that's what this is for you. A changing of the guards, right? Alrighty. So I did pull one card so far for tarot. That was death and rebirth. Death and rebirth, right? And so that's about transformation. In order to be reborn, in order to do something new, have something new, see something new in life, we have to allow a version of ourself to die off, because we've expanded beyond that. And so what in life has to die? You know, what needs to be transformed into the new? All right. So in the center of the deck, this is kind of like our overall energy, right? This kind of tells the current space that you're sitting in, and that's the Page of Swords. And so this is knowing that in life, I'm always a student. I'm always learning. And in order to be an independent force all on your own, you always have to be expanding and leveling up and growing and learning something new in order to stay relevant, right? That's what ones do. Because you're alone and you can't just take a task and then delegate another energy to someone else. You yourself have to be a whole force. And so the Page of Swords, Pages talks about a youthful energy. And so if that's the energy that you're in, this means that you are in a space that you have not yet mastered, and so realize that you are absorbing right now. This is where you should be taking direction and not giving direction. So take out your notebook. Be prepared to have your mind sparked. Be amazed. Be a sponge. Have no barriers. Be open to all types of information that's coming possible. That's coming your way. We had believe in the impossible. And so when you're looking in life, look at it as if you're discovering something, you're learning something. Never think you have it all figured out. Every day that you live is a day to be surprised. So be youthful, be this page, be childlike, and wait to be amazed. At the bottom of the tarot deck, we had the Hermit. And so this is the energy of solitude, and as a one, you are comfortable in your own space, but when we're talking about Hermit, we're not talking about just being in a room, but we're talking about being in a room, closing a door, sitting down, and then going within the room within inside ourself, right? Going into an inner space where we need to bring light, we need to bring awareness, we need to bring consciousness to things that are unconscious, right? We need to allow things to surface. And so when we need to expand and to grow, we have everything in us, but we have to go find it. And so that's what the Hermit does. They go find things, and it requires a level of fearlessness to go into dark spaces and to be comfortable with your own light, and to know that in your own gifts, you can even make it through the spaces that are unknown, right? And so, Page of Swords, that's the energy we sit in, but we sit in that in a way that is really humble, because we know that when we think we know nothing at all. And so this is where you're learning. Um, and this is you communicating in many ways, you know? So be prepared to be connected to information that's needed. And again, believe in the impossible. And so what does that look like? Now, to the left of the Page of Swords, so surrounding this Page of Swords, we have two energies. We have the Four of Wands and we have the Empress. How beautiful. And so the Empress is kind of where we're moving to. This is a space where we have to, this is about birth, nurturing, you know, this is about having the potential to grow something, to make something come to life, but not only to make it appear, but to sustain it, right? This is about being in tune with your feminine energy, the ability to give life through your own creativity, through your own gifts, you know, and it could talk about physical life, but this is anything that is created with you through your vessel, through your mind, your heart, your spirit. And so that's the energy that you'll move into. And so there's something for you to master in order to get to the Empress, in order to really begin to birth whatever it is that you're trying to do. There's something that you have to master, something that you still have to learn, and that's okay. That's okay. Now, the Four of Wands is about stability, a structure, a foundation, something that takes time and detail and focus, something that takes an investment, you know? So this could be something that you've accomplished, something that you've built in some point. This could be something that you are dreaming of. This is something that you are having faith for. Right. And so there's a dream that is connected to a Four of Wands energy, wanting to build something stable. Is this a partnership, a home, a family, a business? What is it that you want to build that will last? What is that right now for you? What are your dreams constructing? Figure out your dreams and then step into the energy of the student, absorb the information necessary, and then get ready to birth whatever it is. But there's something we have to learn before we can step into the Empress. So we have the denial card. It says, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. Right? And so fear is tricky, right? Because it's necessary, because it keeps us safe. You know, but sometimes when we're stepping into the unknown, everything feels unsafe, and so we're stuck. We don't know whether to run, to fight, to freeze. We don't know what to do. And so you have to overcome the fear in order to step into the Empress. And how do you overcome the fear? With awareness, with the light. Step into the hermit mode. That's when you have to go in a room, but then go in a room inside yourself, right? In order to check your fear and say, hey, I know you're there. I know you exist, but it's okay. You know, that's that faith that you need. So when you have faith in your dreams, there are going to be fears that creep up that say, you can't do that. You can't have that. You can't go there. You can't create that. You'll never be able to have that relationship. It'll never be able to turn into a marriage. You can't have children. Don't you remember what they said? You know, all of those are all fears, right? And so those are the things that we have to purge, because they stop us from birthing. You can't grow and have all these fears that tell you that you can't grow, right? We can't do both at the same time. And so the hermit energy says, hey, there's some things we have to collect. We have to get rid of them because they're stopping us from learning. They're stopping us from believing in the impossible. They're getting in our way. And so we need to bring awareness to all the falsities that are within us so that we can be in this Empress energy. Yes, yes? Cool. All right. So beneath the Page of Swords, which is now we're in the space of learning, we're trying to believe in the impossible, but where did we come from? Well, beneath the Page of Swords, we have the Eight of Cups. And this is about really investing ourselves into something emotionally, but saying, hey, you know, I made this investment. I was committed. I was hoping that it would turn out this way, but If I'm being totally honest with myself, and if I'm being totally honest with whoever else is involved in the situation, I know that there's more. I know that there is more out there, right? I don't exactly know what it is, but based on what I've experienced here, I've learned enough to know that I am called to move beyond this situation. That's the Eight of Cups. It's walking away fearlessly, right? And sometimes it's hard to do it. We could admit to ourselves that we need to make a change, but to actually turn your back and walk away, you know, there is some loss and some regret when we have to release things and move beyond people, places, and things that aren't growing and going with us to the next space. But sometimes that's what we're called to do. And so when we can leave behind past investments that have taken us to our full potential in that experience, but we know we're called to move on to the next one, that's what the Eight of Cups is, and that's the Page of Swords. So you're leaving because you know there's something else you need to learn, know, there's something else that needs to happen, right? And so emotions are running high. That's what Spirit is saying. That Eight of Cups energy, the leaving a situation, that's where the emotions are running high. That's what gives us kind of, you know, a little bit of anxiety about what's out there. Is everything going to be okay? Eights are courageous numbers, you know, and so it takes courage to do that. Um, but you have to know that all of the seeds that you planted in past situations are going to ripen and grow, but those fruits are coming in different situations in the future. So never think that you're leaving behind your wealth. You're just going to pick it up elsewhere on the journey, right? Now, surrounding the walk away, we have two energies. We have the Six of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, right? And so this bottom row, although this is where we come from or our subconscious energy, this is really beautiful energy. This is about stepping into your awareness that something is calling me and something more is out there. This is about finding, following the light, essentially. The Six of Wands talks about some sort of victory, recognition, being in the spotlight for something. So when you think about the past ones, um, what victory did you achieve? Six is about giving and taking. In what situation did you give a lot of energy, but you also got a lot back, right? You put something in, you got a lot back. So this is where we have the energy of pride. Pride says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. And so what does that mean? This talks about us living in a world where everything is a mirror of self, right? And so I love myself, but it's not to advance or elevate myself above another. It's really because I am just an aspect of everyone, right? We're all just a glob, and everyone is just a different mirror in this glob, and everyone's reflection is necessary and needed, but it's not to the detriment of another's reflection. Like, we all have to go, or we can't go, right? And so when we're talking about pride, it's about being proud of self, but not elevating self beyond another, really seeing self in others. And so that's that Six of Wands energy. And so this could be the energy that you present. Let me just say something to you, ones. Because you are independent and trailblazers, and because you go hard and you chase and you achieve and you dream, sometimes one can be called an overachiever, arrogant, cocky, know it all. Because when you know, when you believe, you believe. And as a one, sometimes you have to do it alone. No one else has done what you've done or gone where you want to go. And so sometimes you do it before you see it, but definitely before those around you see it, right? And I just felt like I needed to say that. So I feel like if you've ever been accused, when you're in the Six of Wands energy, when you're going after the success, sometimes you may be accused of being prideful, because others can't find their own reflection in your success. And so those are the situations that we have to walk away from, because they're not growing with us, so they just can't go to the next level. And so the Eight of Cups walks into the Three of Pentacles, which is an energy of collaboration. This is like finding your soul tribe, finding those that are like-minded, where you'll never be accused of being too much, because it's just the energy that everybody lives in. And so you all get to rise together. Right? So this is about finding your space. You want to work with people, but you don't want to be pulled down or made feel bad, because you are a chaser, you are a riser. Right? So Three of Pentacles talks about collaboration, but it's through your own creativity, it is through your gift, it is through what you passionately pursue, that you will find those that link up with you, that assist you. So we have imagination. It says, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. How beautiful is that? That's that Three of Pentacles, right? So it's about being able to tap into our sweet spot. What just makes us smile? What can we talk about for hours and never get tired of? What can we do for hours and it only feel like minutes have passed? What is that for you? That is a reflection or an indication of where your creativity lies. And so if you can find that sweet spot, if you can find what makes you come alive, if you can find what would bring you to the Six of Wands, to this victory, that would bring you to the forefront, what is that creativity that could bring you this success? What are you going towards, right? And so when Spirit says imagination, you have to nourish that. You have to embrace it. That's a seed. That sweet spot is a seed. You pick up that seed. That's you embracing it. This is what I love to do. I acknowledge it. I accept it. I have no shame. I have no guilt. This is what I love to do. Now I'm going to nourish it. And that's when you step into the Empress energy. That's when you start to grow and birth. That's what you're moving to, but we have to get rid of the fears that stop us from learning what comes next, right? So above the Page of Swords, the top row talks about where we're being guided to, what we should know about the space that we're in. Above the Page of Swords is the Four of Cups. And this almost is kind of like boredom, like been there, done that, over it. This is not panning out the way I imagined. I'm unfulfilled. And so cups again is emotional space, but the beautiful thing about the Four of Cups is that we're stuck in this space of being unfazed by life. Things are uneventful. Nothing's taking off. Nothing's growing. And then here we have this extension from Spirit, this cup with a rainbow coming out of it. And those are the possibilities that you are being called to believe in. Believe in the possibilities. Don't get lost in the empty cups in front of you. Don't get lost in what things look like in front of you, because then you'll forget that that this life is moving. This thing is alive. Don't get stuck in that space of where things look like nothing's happening. That's the trick. And so you have to be prepared for the impossible. You have to believe in the impossible. Be a student. Realize that this life is a class. You never know it all, right? So don't get bored with what was, but get excited about what will be. And so the Four of Cups is like, hey, wake up. Don't go to sleep. This thing's alive. Camera's rolling. Keep going. And so Spirit is saying, show the world the real you. What is it? Who is the real you? After you learn all you have to learn, after you grow what you're going to grow in this Empress energy, what does the real you look like? I'm going to go back to where I started this reading. What are you wearing? What are you doing? What are you talking about? Who is in your company? What setting are you in? What's the climate? Did you drive? Are you walking? What meal are you? Like, literally make it so real, because that's how you're going to get there. And be comfortable with dreaming and imagining, because that means that you've gotten rid of your fears and now you can just comfortably dream. You don't have to keep sometimes dreaming, sometimes being scared of dreams, sometimes dreaming, now I'm scared of it. No, you've overcome that, you know? And so now Spirit is saying, now it's time to show them the real you. So what does that look like? The death and the rebirth. So, this transformation of self, who you are when you come out, who you are when you show the world the real you, is based on your ability to collect everything you need to collect and discover in the hermit mode. So when you are in that space of solitude, I need to turn off the TV, I need to not do this, I need to shut people out, or I just need to keep my business to myself right now because I'm trying to advance, right? And my opinion is the one that matters most. So I need to go within and I need to hear what I really hear in the deepest part of self, right? That's hermit. And that is where the transformation lies. That's where the old aspect and version of self and the false beliefs and fears dies and the rebirth happens. It's almost like when the superhero gets off of work, takes off his glasses, but then comes out of the booth, Superman. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just forgot which one it was. Anyway, that's like the transformation, the outfit change. I feel like the hermit mode for you, the death rebirth, is essentially the outfit change. You come out with the cape, right? I don't know what you went in with, but you came out with the cape. Now the S is on the chest, right? You're ready to show the world the real you. Now we have service. It says, I feel good when I can help others. And so, what is that? What is that for you? What are you providing? What is the service that you are delivering? What is the dream that you are conjuring in order to provide something? We have the Queen of Swords, and that's on the opposite side. So, surrounding the energy of boredom, we have the death and the rebirth, right? Something's transforming, something's changing. But then what happens? Well, now this Queen of Swords, look at the contrast between the Four of Cups and the Queen of Swords. The Four of Cups is like lost in an event that happened, but they're forgetting that life's taking over and they're kind of stuck. But this Queen of Swords, this is being intelligent, aware, clear, practical, unafraid to choose, to decide. This is knowing, right? And so there's no boredom here. It's just intent. It's intent and it's will and it's conviction. It's truth. It's clarity. And so the Empress is creating something, and the Queen of Swords is having the clarity to know what it is you're doing and why you're doing it. And so, what is it that you feel good doing when you help others? What is the service that you provide? What are you becoming clear about? Ones, I hope this is helpful. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's a service that I will be able to use. So thank you so much for stopping by and take care.